Right. So, good morning, all. So, we were in the chapter of OPAM design, and we have started with the OPAM basic definition that it is a general purpose building block and it has a wide application. And since it has a wide application, and applications can be various type, so based on that, we decide which type of architecture will be best suitable for which of the application. Which type of so so it can be used from DC bias for the high speed or filtering or different applications are there. So since OPAMP is a general building block, so we have to choose topology according to the application, and also its power requirement is very much important when we are dealing with low power technologies. So its performance parameters we have covered. Basically the performance parameters were gain, and then your signal bandwidth, law behavior, the slew rate, the swing, linearity, noise, and supply rejection. Right. So what is coming next? Noise in the audio. Okay, wait a minute. I will change the location. I also can hear some noise is coming. Wait a minute. Now is it okay? Yeah, now is there any noise in the sound? I think it will be fine now. Okay. So we were in the this performance parameters of OPAMP. The OPAMP performance parameters were gain, bandwidth, the signal behavior, the small signal bandwidth, large signal behavior, the slew rate, then swing, linearity, and supply, and the noise. Okay, so we started with the single stage OPAMP, and this was your single stage OPAMP where this CL it is a complementary output. Okay, complementary output. Complementary output, two output terminals are there. If this is giving this signal, the output will be like this, and similarly the opposite case here. So since it is a complementary, so it will offer a high swing. So this way we decide the which topology is better for which place. Then another version of this one is a single-ended output. So how to achieve the single-ended? It is achieved through this current mirror architecture. All the signal what is processing here, the current will be replicated here, and then difference of current comes, and this gives the picture of what will be the V out. However, when we estimate the gain will come because it is a small signal model. So the gain will become approximately same. The bandwidth will be a function of the load capacitance. However, there will be a difference in the stability point of view. Stability point of view, because in the current mirror there is a formation of in the differential amplifier there is a formation of poles at different nodes. So in the current mirror based differential amplifier, there will be a mirror pole and the output pole, and this mirror pole and output pole, there will be a close relation that which one of the pole will be very near to origin, and second the mirror pole, due to mirror pole the signal path is slow, so that also makes the op amp somewhat slow. So there will be difference in stability if we compare these two architectures. Then one application we have seen a voltage buffer, where we decided how much will be the copying range. Like if we give some input X input, then V out will track whether the V out will track the complete input or it will track the part of input that we have seen, and we have estimated some range it will copy. Okay, based on the, because we need all the MOSFET in the saturation, so based on the limitations of the voltages at different nodes, we decide that how much, till how much voltage the voltage copying will be happening, or it will act like a voltage buffer. So through a numerical problem we have seen that for single stage op amp with a simple current mirror load, the tracking for 1 volt was a 0.4 volt. However, when we switch to this cascode topology. Another form is in the simple op-amp the gain was less. To improve the gain, we move to the cascode stage, and cascoding means the extra two transistor shielding will be provided to the input, and shielding is provided to M7 and M8 by M5 and M6. Similarly, here it is the current mirror version. It is a single-ended output version. In both the case, the gain is high. However, here the swing will be more compared to here because of the overdrive voltage in the current mirror. The swing becomes less here. However, when we use this cascode in application of voltage buffer, we say that it is not a good buffer because we have a very limited space for the voltage copying place. We see the maximum we can do is up to VTH. VTH ranges is 0.3 to 0.4 volt, 0.3 to 0.4 volt. This, but we cannot also, if we see the swing, it is a VTH minus VOB. VOB cannot be 0, it will be at least 0.1 or 0.2 volt. This means my available swing will be how much? Nearly 0.1 to 0.2 volt if we are working with 1 volt supply. This means if I am using high gain op amp, a simple cascode op amp in a voltage buffer application, then it will not prove to be a better option. Okay. So how to overcome this? Like I want to design a voltage buffer, at the same time I need a high gain. So how we can do this? So we can do this through the folded cascode stage. And folded cascode already we have seen in chapter 3 when we were doing single stage. Folded cascode is what? It fold up the current. Okay, like this was your architecture and simple cascode, and here the voltage swing was a problem, the limitation, the overdrive voltage it has to face. So it was overcome by the folded cascode. So what is happening? Input is your NMOS, so input MOS is changed to the PMOS version, and this M2 is here, and whatever current is flowing here, it is folded up. Okay, so it is a folded cascode. This is a folded cascode version where PMOS is the input, and here this is the folded cascode version where NMOS is the input. So based on the processing, like if I want to design an op-amp with NMOS as an input differential pair, or if I want to design an op-amp with PMOS as an input differential pair, based on this folded cascode topology we choose either this or this. This is a PMOS version and this is a NMOS version. Okay. So what are the observations? So it is a better alternative to cascode. Okay, why? Because here if we see the voltage swing, it has to overdrive here, and in the further the bigger architecture will see, it will be a better alternative to cascode. Input CM level close to supply or ground. Okay, the main advantage of this folded cascode you will get in the range of input common mode level. Like in the earlier design, when I am designing the voltage buffer, here I am getting very limited swing. Okay, but when I will design with this type of folded cascode, the voltage buffer, then I can get a better input common mode level. How? Because if you see, Vin will be closely related to VDD, or Vin will be closely related to the ground. Okay, so we have lot of space for application as a buffer. However, there is a drawback. So what is the drawback? Is the two current sources increases the power. So this is the biggest drawback here. If you see, we are biasing this cascode with a single I1, but in this case we need two current sources, I1 and I2. So since extra current sources are used, so it will increase the power dissipation. Now this is the folded cascode topology. If I'm sorry, this is the simple cascode op amp, and if I want to convert in folded cascode, how I will do? This input MOS is a NMOS version. I will convert to PMOS. Okay, and this M3 M4 will be as it is. To bias the M3 M4, we need two current sources, and these two current sources. So this is the folded cascode topology. Now in this, the input common mode level is improved here in this case compared to this one. Okay, so what are the observations here? Here the observation is there is no stacking of MOSFET, means no this cascoding structure. Input MOS does not need any cascoding structure. Okay, whatever the achievement was achieved using cascode, that will be provided by this stage. Okay, by this stage I will achieve the cascode features. then there is no mirror pole in this architecture. As we see, this is a simple differential amplifier with a differential output with a complementary output, so no mirror pole is there. Okay, the circuit is fine. What is the current ISS1 inflowing in this picture? In this diagram, ISS1 is the sum of the input current, whatever current flowing here, and the current flowing through here. This is your ID3, and this is your, if it is a perfect matching, ISS by 2. So ISS1 is the sum of this and this. So if you see, this ISS1 is carrying, previously it was carrying only ISS, but now the biasing, the bottom, the tail current is carrying higher current what it was supposed to carry, due to which the power dissipation increases in folded cascode. Okay, so however, with disadvantage there is always some advantage. So advantage is it is having better output swing. Okay, so now swing, if you want to see here in the first architecture, swing is, the V out swing is decided by, in the upper limit this is I2, in the lower limit it is 1 overdrive, 2 overdrive and ISS. Here it is 1 overdrive and 1 ISS. So definitely the swing will be better in folded cascode. And then this is another type, folded cascode, where the cascoding is done in the stages. So in the earlier architecture, if you see, simple transistors were there. Now in order to improve the gain of folded cascode op-amp, I will do again the cascoding in the stages. So here the cascoding is done through M7, M8 and M3, M4. Now attaching this extra transistor in the cascode configuration, what will happen? The overall gain of the circuit will be high, the common mode range will be good. However, there will be a what you say, the swing will be little bit decreased because of addition of this overdrive voltage. So what are the observations here? It is a PMOS based op-amp because input processing is done through the PMOS transistors. High gain structure, definitely, because cascoding we have done, because there we have done cascoding, so high gain structure. However, there is a limited swing because of addition of, because there is a addition of overdrive voltage. And since we have attached extra transistors, definitely there will be capacitances formed. So due to this increased capacitance, extra current, there will be more number of poles, and more number of poles means again the stability issue will come in picture, and then they have to take care that whether the system is stable or not. So less number of pole, more stable system. If the higher the number of poles, the stability will become an issue. So we have to take care of stability. And then definitely what we have targeted with that folded cascode provides a better input common mode range. So if I use this one in a voltage buffer application, then definitely I will get a better picture here. Okay, now here is the calculation of gain. Suppose I am dealing with this architecture to apply in a voltage buffer and also to some other application, or so how we will calculate the gain. Now we'll see how to calculate the gain. So for this we have seen, if we are considering the circuit to be perfectly matched, then we can use the half circuit half circuit concept. So half circuit concept, what does it mean? Divide the circuit in the two parts. Okay, so as you can see in the architecture, it is divided in two parts. Okay, so this is the half part here. Now using her, we know that the overall gain, we can say it is a sum of GM into R out. So GM is the overall effective transconductance of the MOSFET, and output R out is the effective output resistance of the circuit. Okay, so doing the product of these two, we can easily calculate the overall gain of the architecture. So we will start with the calculation of transconductance, the overall transconductance of the circuit. So here for the transconductance, already we know what is the transconductance, that GM is the ratio of I out by V in. So in order to get I out, what we have to do, I will short circuit this one and a current I out will flow here. So this is ground, this is ground, the overall this will go off, and here we will be left out with this one. So M3 is there, M1, and in the bottom if you see, these two are your biased with VV1 and VV4. These two are current sources, so we can replace by RO of 5 parallel RO1. Okay, 5 and 1 RO5, and or the effective resistance of this one and this one at this node. Okay, so this is the equivalent model to calculate the transconductance. Now in order to calculate the transconductance, what will be the transconductance? So first we need to know what is, suppose whatever current flowing here, I, let's say it is I, it is source, it is, so ISD1, and here I out is flowing. So what will be the effective resistance seen by this node? It will be RO3 parallel with the resistance seen at this node. So at this node is 1 by GM3 plus, if you include your body transconductance, it will be GMB3. So effectively you will get here 1 by GM3 something. Okay, and when I compare this resistance with this one, so I will get here 1 by GM3 will be, definitely it will be lesser than this combination. So what will happen? The total current will be flowing, maximum of the current will flow through this node instead of this node. So maximum current will flow towards M3. So in this case, what will happen? My ISD1 will be equal to minus of ISD1. ISD1 is nothing but GM1 into SG. Okay, so VSG is nothing but VSG is nothing but what it is? It is 0 minus VSG. So what I will get here from here, the picture comes that iot is nothing but iot by n will give me GM. This means overall transconductance, I can say it is nothing but your small GM1. So we have calculated the effective transconductance. Now we will calculate the effective output resistance. It's also the same thing. To calculate the effective output resistance, what we do, we attach a test voltage here and a test current will flow, and ratio of Vt by It will give me the R out. So this is the equivalent model, but resistance will be offered by this one. If I look at this architecture, this is a cascade architecture. Now this is a cascade architecture, then what is the, it's a message came out. Okay, nothing. So this is the cascade architecture. Now I know cascade means, here this is the transistor which is being shielded by M7. This means RO9 will be boosted by RO9 into the intrinsic gain of the M7. Intrinsic gain means GM7 and into RO7. Okay, so your ROP will be GM7 into RO7, and RO9 is boosted up. However, if body transconductance, then GMB will also come in picture. So this is the effective resistance seen by this particular, that is ROP. So this is modeled. So this part is modeled here by ROP. Now coming to the bottom section, it is RO5 parallel to RO1, and then using the again the same concept here, it is your, again this part is acting as a cascade to this part. So effectively RO will be your ROP parallel with the bottom whatever seen. So ROP parallel to, again this one is getting boosted up. This is getting boosted by the intrinsic gain of the M3 because it is again a cascade. So overall is the parallel combination of these two. So looking at this side, I can see the effective resistance is given by this factor. Now doing the product of GM out, I will get the overall gain. So this way we predict the gain, okay, without drawing any small signal model, just by the inspection. This is called your inspection method. Okay, just by the observation I can get the estimate the what will be the approximate gain. We cannot say the exact gain, we'll always say the approximate gain will be near to these values. Okay, because if suppose you are going to do the small signal analysis of this model, then it will be quite cumbersome. Okay, it will take a lot of time. So that's why for the complex circuit, just we do the inspection and observation method, and we estimate what will be the effective gain, and then we tolerate with some errors with the measurement result and the theoretical result. So as we have seen this folded cascade, how to calculate the gain. Now this is another another version of folded cascode where NMOS is given as an input. You see here in the previous architecture it was PMOS taken as a input, PMOS was taken as output input, so it was with the ISS through VDD. And if I take NMOS as an input, then I will bias through ISS. Here this is nothing but your ISS. Okay, so this I is used, so it is an NMOS based op amp. Okay, and the current sources are replaced by the current mirrors. Okay, so क्या है यहाँ पे, here I am using some current source, some reference current. This will replicate here current, and this way by using a single current source I can just doing the modulation of the magnitude of the current, we can give the different biasings. Okay, for example here if you see in this architecture ISS was required, but what amount of current is required by here, that all things are generated through the help of current mirrors. Okay, we are not using repeatedly so many independent sources, one independent, and with the help of current mirror we are using the biasing of the op amps. So okay, so that was the advantage of folded cascode. The folded cascode provided the better input common mode range, and for the buffer it is definitely better. And in order to improve the gain, we do the cascoding, and that cascoding will not disturb my common mode range. However, the swing will be limited. Now again coming back to the cascode op amp, now we'll deal with the cascode op amp with single ended. Okay, many times we don't need op amps with a complementary output, but with the single ended. So this is the op amp with a single ended. How it is converted? The cascode's elements are converted in a cascode current mirror fashion, and then whatever current is flowing here, the same current will flow here, and that will be replicated through this path, and it will go here. Okay, so if I am realizing the op amp with this architecture, so overall drive will be your two, already we have seen it will be 2 OB plus 2 VTH. Okay, if you see here this particular block, this particular section in the current mirror, in the cascode current mirror, it is a cascode current mirror. There we have seen the effective overdrive was taken in the upper limit. I am talking in the, it was taken by 2 BOV plus 2 VTH. Then we have used certain techniques and we have reduced the overdrive voltage, and the best technique which came out was your this technique. Okay, so in this architecture my overdrive was reduced to 2 times of VOV. Okay, there was no VTH term, so here no VTH term was there. So since I know that this type of current mirror will be better suitable for op amp design, so I will replicate this part in this section. So this one is replaced here. So replacing here I will get this architecture. So here M7 M5 the same configuration. So this section is being modified. So here I will get 2 VOV overdrive voltage maximum. So this way I am improving the upper swing of the op amp. Okay, so it's not always that if we need high swing I will always go for the complementary output, because if I go in that fashion then I have to waste extra pin, because if suppose only single output is required, why to generate extra pin? So that time I will go for single ended output. So but when I will go for single ended output, then there can be a swing limitation. So how to overcome? So in topology we do the changes like here we have done. Okay, so till now we have seen the op amp, or we have dealt with the single stage op amp and their applications like voltage buffer and things. So now many times what happens, if you have seen in all the single stage op amp, if I am increasing the gain by cascoding or folded cascode and folded cascode again cascoding, they all are limiting the swing. This means gain and swing cannot be done equally high. Okay, if I am increasing the gain I have to sacrifice with swing. If I am increasing the swing, then I have to sacrifice somewhat with gain somewhere, some other parameters. So in order or instead of going in a vertical direction, we'll go for the changes in horizontal direction. Horizontal direction means instead of, we will convert that single stage in two stage, and one of the stage will be responsible for the gain and another stage will be responsible for the swing. So this way what will happen, improving the gain will not disturb my swing, or improving the swing will not disturb my gain. Only the problem will be that number of stages will increase. So this gives the concept of evolution of two stage op amp. Okay. So when we design two-stage op-amp, the number one stage is the core block of the op-amp. So that time they say the stage one will be consisting of differential amplifier, and that will be focused to have high gain. Okay. The stage two will be focused to have high swing. So where we'll get high swing if we use common source amplifier. So in basically all the two stage op amp, the first stage is your differential amplifier and the second stage is your common source amplifier. And the example you can see in this architecture. If you see where is the stage one, this part is your stage one. Simple differential amplifier with a current source load. Then where is stage 2? So this is stage 2. This is stage 2. It is a common source amplifier where PMOS is my input MOS. How it is PMOS input? Whatever signal generated at Y, this is the input to this transistor. So and it is a common source configuration. So this is a common source amplifier with emit as a load. This is your load. Again here if I see, this is your input MOS and this is your load. So V out 1, okay, this is your common source amplifier 1, this is your common source amplifier 2. Okay, so what we see in this architecture, that there are two stages. Number one stage is your differential amplifier where M1 and M2 are differential inputs. Whatever signal generated at X and Y, they both acts as an input to the another stage. So another stage, that is your common source amplifier. So totally if you calculate individually, so total three stages are there. Three stages will not say, but three configurations. Number one is your differential amplifier, number two is your common source amplifier part 1, common source amplifier part 2, where X and Y acts as the input to these two. Okay, so what will happen, the gain will be decided by this inner block and the swing will be decided by this outer block. Okay, now the changes in the two stage op amp is done here. So this was your simple two stage op amp. Okay, this was your stage 1 and this was your stage 2. This was your stage 2. Now it is now I want to improve the gain of two stage op amp, because this is a simple differential amplifier. Maybe the gain is not much efficient, so I need to improve the gain. So what I will do here, now I know for improving the gain what is to be done. How do the cascading. Okay, like here a single stage cascade is there. Okay, so 1 minute, this is two scale. Okay, so right now we are doing the calculation of gain of this two stage op amp. For single stage we know how to do. Now to two stage calculation, how it is done, since it is a two stage amplifier, so total overall gain will be equals to what, AV1 into AV2, that we already know. Okay, because we have done in analog electronic course. So what is stage 1 gain? So first we have to predict the stage 1 gain. So stage 1 gain is a simple differential amplifier with the current source load. So directly we can write GM1 into RO1 parallel to RO34. Okay, this is your stage 1 gain. And what is stage 2 gain? Stage 2 is your common source amplifier. Okay, so you can proceed in either way. Okay, V out 2 if you take VO2, so we can say here GM5 or 6 in either direction. You can check either this or this stage into the simple parallel combination of this resistance, this common source. This is a gain of common source and this is a gain of differential amplifier. So we get the overall gain to be GM12. So if you see, the overall gain of two-stage op-amp is higher than single-stage op-amp. Now coming to the swing operation. Now if you see, the gain is coming equal to, if you do the product, what you will get here, 2 times of GM and also RO, let's say ROX parallel ROY, some ROX or ROY there. So we are getting twice the gain. This is nothing but it is showing the cascade. It is showing somewhat cascade gain I will get if I am doing little bit with cascade with respect to cascade, but almost equal to cascade. This means if I am designing a two-stage op-amp, then I can achieve a gain comparable to cascade op-amp. Okay. Now in the cascade op-amp, what was the problem was the swing. So now we will check whether the swing is whether my swing two-stage op-amp is better or my swing in cascade is better. So if I check V out 1 or V out 2, both are identical stage. In both the cases, if I need to calculate the swing, what will be seeing? VDD minus this overdrive and this overdrive. So VDD minus 2 overdrive voltages are there. The swing is what? How much swing is? The swing for this one is VDD minus 2 overdrive voltage. But when I will do for this one, I will get swing as VDD minus 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 overdrive voltages. Okay, so this means two stage is still beneficial over cascade. How? Gain is comparable. Other to that, swing is improved in two stage compared to cascade. So better to have two stage op amp. So that's why in all the designs wherever you will see op amp, they prefer for two stage design rather than going for a single stage design, and this is a very common topology used in every op amps. Okay, now further the changes in that two stage op amp is done. How the changes is done? The conventional approach use the cascading technique. So here the cascading, if you see here, what is the transistor M1 and M2, here I will use the cascading, and M3 M4 again here I will use cascading. So what will happen? Overall effective gain will be introduced. So effective gain will be CA. So this and this transistor is, this is your cascade device. This is your cascade. Sorry. And for this is your cascade. So now what will happen? The effective gain. So AV1, we calculate AV1. Now in the cascade, what will happen? The RO1 or RO2 will be boosted by the intrinsic this particular factor. Okay. So similarly in the upper section M7 and M8, this resistance is getting boosted by this factor. Okay. And overall effective, if you calculate the effective transconductance, that is always equal to the input pair, that is GM12. So taking the ratio of GM into R out, I will get my overall gain. Okay, now coming to the AV2. AV2 is simple common source amplifier, so no change here, simple GM into R resistance parallel. So effective gain will be AV1 into AV2. Now you see overall gain is too much high. It is very much higher gain I can achieve. Now at the same time you say that okay, gain is achieved, what about the swing? So if I check the swing is again here. What is the swing here? That is VDD minus 2 overdrive voltage. So my swing is not disturbed but my gain is improved. This means in the inner block I do lot many changes, it will not affect my swing. Okay, so a higher gain is possible, at the same time high swing is also possible. So again two stage op amp proved to be beneficial over single stage op amp. Okay, now now the one important observation in two stage op amp, this was your simple differential pair, and this was your common source, and this was your common source. That increasing stage can further increase gain, but increases pole. Okay. Okay. The meaning is, now this is two stage of time. If I further use to three stage, if I, but what will happen, my pole will get increased. Number of pole increase is stability. Okay, so that's why we are restricted up to what we are doing changes with two stage only, because number of stages increasing means number of poles increases, number of poles means stability issue will come, and once my amplifier is not stable, there is no purpose of designing. Okay, so now in the one stage of amp we have improved to the cascading stage. Okay, so whether doing triple cascade or four time cascade, every time doing cascade, what will happen, the voltages at this node X and Y may not be that much in order to drive these transistors, because increasing cascade means kya, maximum voltage will be consumed by this the overdrive voltage. If I go for triple cascade, the effective voltage at X will decrease. If I go for four times cascade, the effective voltage at X will again decrease. So maybe at one time it will come that the effective voltage at X is not that much enough to drive the stage 2. So that time we cannot, this means the cascading is not the best approach to increase the gain. So definitely there will be some other approaches. So in other approaches there are some gain boosting techniques. Okay, so where we can improve the gain without increasing the cascading stages. So that's all we will see in the next class, and how the gain is improved, that I will show in that class. Okay, so right now we will stop at this point, right? So now I will start at this point. I will stop. So anything you need, want clarification regarding this today's lecture, you can post it. Stop.